Well, obviously with the new defensive coordinator hire with Christian Parker, what kind of level of conversation have you had with him already in terms of what players maybe he looks for, types of mold in terms of players that you want to add to this defense?
Yeah, we've had general conversations to begin with, but he wants good players and he wants smart players, which every coach does. We'll get down to the nitty gritty once they get the rest of the staff together. But we talked about our roster. He has a vision for the guys that we have, so it's off to a good start right now.
I want to talk about the last year with your department specifically. Obviously, been more active in the trade market in the last year than you could say in the past 2 decades. How has that affected your department, and what work has gone into it from y'all's department's perspective?
I mean, the work stays the same. We're going to look at and we're going to prepare for all those opportunities. And when they come up, you got to be ready for it. So I'm proud of the work that the pro department does getting ready for this. And then, whenever Jerry says we want to move and what we want to look at, we want to be prepared for that. So, and we're going to try and improve our team. And so we'll see where that takes us in the trade and free agent market and the draft and everything else.
You had 2 first-round picks. How much of a luxury is that just on the surface?
I just, having the opportunity to improve your team with 2 first-round picks, I think it's going to be huge. We'll look at the talent here and depending upon where it goes, but having the opportunity and the flexibility with that is good as we try and rebuild the team and add stuff to it.
Yeah, and Stephen had said in the season end press conference, I mean, unless there's a CeeDee Lamb sitting there in the first round, you would think that 2 defensive picks would be used on those 2 picks. The defensive class is obviously pretty strong this year. What do you have to say about the defensive class overall?
Again, we're just getting into it and knowing them. I think there is some strength in this draft. Is it top level, mid level? We're still decide that, but there is some talent, and there's guys that we want to add to the team. And with the first couple of first round picks, you don't ever want to say it's got to be a defensive guy. We're going to make our board for the best player available, but there'll be some options there, I'm sure.
In those meetings when Christian Parker's name came up initially, what were some of the things that stuck out to you that made him the right person for the job across the board?
Number one, everybody you talk to, nobody said anything negative about him. That was number one. Then when we got the chance to meet and talk to him, it's wise beyond his years, number one. But the way that he puts things together, the way he talks about the defense, his awareness to the front and the back end, it's excited to work with him because and the staff that he's going to put together, because I think there's some exciting things that we can do, and he's going to put us up front on the defensive side.
Have you already had any conversations with him about the type of personnel or type of player that you guys are scouting?
No, we've had some general conversations, and it's all, we want the biggest, fastest, smartest, best guys, and we talked about a little bit defensively, kind of what the structure is going to be about and what we're looking for a little bit, but we'll dig into it when they hire the whole staff.
His past being in the secondary and the development track record he has there, what is it about some of the guys that he's had in the past, those Sertans, Dejeans, those guys that stands out and you feel like can translate to some of the younger players like a Revel or Bland even when he gets back healthy?
Just, from everything we've heard, number one is him being an incredible DB coach, number one, and then, with the scheme stuff being even further. But I think that he's talked about some of the young guys, like he did talk about Revel and the ability and what he sees that some of the things that he can help him with, young players and making them better. He talked about the guys in the secondary, Bland and our safeties, and so he's got a vision for those guys. But when you develop Patrick Surtain and Mitchell and Dejean, and they've all been under his kind of tutelage, it gives us good hope in knowing that he's a hell of a football coach and he'll improve that part as well as the whole defense.
During the interview process, how were you guys able to answer the question of like, hey, this is a young guy, first-time play caller, but we're comfortable with this? How were you like?
The exhaustive search that Shotty's done and all of us having a piece in it, and much like we do during the process with players, we're going to go through the car wash and everybody's going to meet him and talk to him and get to know him. We're going to sit around and talk about what we think, and just that whole process has been incredible to be able to go and dig and find out maybe stuff that you didn't know. It was just the way that we went about it and finding that guy, as well as putting together the staff. It's an exhaustive process that I'm proud to be a part of because we've got some good guys.
Now we talk a lot about the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, a side you want to improve. Where on offense do you think you can improve this year as well?
I think that you've always got to have depth. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to have depth. That team that we had last year, that team's not, we're not promise to have those guys back. So we're always looking to improve the offensive side. I know Shotty's got a vision. We've got some depth there. We've got some guys there, but you're never one player away, and something could happen to one, and you got to have another one. So that's why we're looking at the draft and in totality on offense and defensive players.
A third of the league is overturning either head coaches or coordinators at a super high rate, and
Yeah.
it feels like this time last year we were talking about your extension. How much is continuity across the board from Schottenheimer in the front office to you helping this team press and build off of what they did in 2025?
I think that there's alignment and there's vision, and as long as all of the connected pieces are connected, we have an opportunity to continue to grow and do good things. I just think that the alignment helps us all say things, hear things, and look for things the same way. We're all in the same accord, and so that's exciting about it. And as we're building this with this new staff, we know as a collective group, we knew what we were looking for. We found that, and now we're excited to get the rest of the staff together.
How has Coach Schottenheimer evolved now going into year 2 as the head coach, and kind of the growth that you've seen from your position?
I think the first year gave him an opportunity to see a bunch of what happened there, and and being able to deal with those. But his growth as not only being a play caller of a really good offense, but the command he has over the team, the respect he has, just seeing him grow in that way. And like when he's putting together the staff, he talked about the things that he wanted. He went out to find those, and that was very, very impressive.
Free agency kind of moving as well. I know a lot of the focus now is on the draft with these kinds of events, but what do you feel like, where are some of the areas you feel like you can look to there to sort of supplement yourself and position yourself for a draft where you have 2 first-round picks?
I think what we've always talked about is, filling the holes in free agency when you can and drafting the best players. So, we'll go through the free agency period. There's some good players out there. We'll have to figure out from a cap standpoint and all that stuff. But there are some good players out there, and we want to address it, but we want to address it the right way with the right kind of guys. And once we get the full staff together, and we'll get a lot of experience from different places that will give us input on players that they've coached before, coached against. So it just adds to it, and we'll find the right guys if we're able to do some things in free agency.
Last one, that's an exciting challenge to have 2 first-round picks. I mean, it's got to be exciting for your department, right, to be able to look at those 2 opportunities and hope that you can hit on them?
Yeah, I mean, we go through the full process like we do every year. Now we have the opportunity to potentially get 2 in the first round. So everybody's going to be digging, doing the work, knowing the importance that those 2 picks will have on us, not only next year, but in the years to come. So just digging and excited about doing that and getting an opportunity to see what we can do with it.
A couple Senior Bowl ones just for me is having a guy like Drew taking over the Senior Bowl who's been in the building before. Mm-hmm. Does that give you any sort of continuity there in learning kind of the way that they've set up this draft?
No, I think Drew's done a great job in putting this together and doing it, and we've got some familiarity with him. I don't know if he'll do us any extra special favors, but maybe I'll call some of those in. But him being involved with us, knowing how we work, calling and getting input from us, is putting it together. So I'm excited for him for this opportunity, but. Hey, he better help us out a little bit.
And what does this week mean to you, just to be able to get out here and get eyes on some of these prospects?
This is the exciting part of the job because, we hear about these guys from different people, and now we get an opportunity to figure it out ourselves, figure out who they are, just start that process. So this is the exciting part, and that's what we do all the work for, putting grades on them, and then we get to find out who's ours come whenever the draft is. Good?
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.